that by the time we are done here, you are definitely going to see scholarship applications very differently. But before we get into that, a couple of things I would like us to note is to please let's keep our microphones muted for most of the session. And also, the chat box is opened for use, so you can drop your questions and we'll definitely answer them or towards the end of the session. Okay, now to the parts we are all here for. Our speaker today is someone who has done something that a lot of us on this webinar session are working towards. He's currently a PhD candidate and research assistant in the Department of Food Science and Tech at the United Arab Emirates University. And he's here to break down how he got there and more importantly, how you can as well. So please give a warm welcome to Dr. Gafar Babatunde Bamigbade. Thank you so much, sir, for honoring us. So Dr. Gafar, please, the mic is open for you to use.
Okay, thank you so much, Mariam, for the introduction. Okay, my name is Gafar. I'm not yet a doctor. I'm still a doctor in the making. I hope one day I will be able to probably use that title, doctor, on
I'm
this
sorry
screen.
about that.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And again, I want to welcome every one of us again to this webinar. Just know that this is just a session to rub minds and to share my experience. Nothing really spectacular. It's just the fact that I am just where I want to be, or let me say where I wish to be, and I have some first-hand information I wish to share to the public. So I will be sharing my screen and okay. So please let me know if you can see my screen.
Yeah, it's crystal clear.
Okay, thank you. So I believe it's on the presentation mode, right?
Yes.
Oh, thank you so much. So this is I'm just going to walk us through some of the general overview of what UAE scholarship looks like. Although UAE is not like every other, let me say, Western or European country who have dedicated or routine scholarship. However, we have a lot of scholarship within which are not like the likes of Erasmus or what have you. So I'll be walking us through this. And one thing we should first understand is the statement by Johnson Sirleaf that says if your dreams do not really scare you, then they are not big enough. Of course, some of the time you will have seen that how achievable is this dream? Do you think you can achieve this? So in as much as you have this kind level of fear that can I achieve this, it means they are big enough to pull you forward and move ahead. One thing about life is continue moving. It doesn't matter how far you are moving. The most important thing is you are moving. You are going from where you are supposed to, where you used to be, to where you are going. Maybe you are moving 5 kilometers per second, or you are moving 10 kilometers per hour. It's the matters. The most important is you are moving. So once you are moving, one day, whether by crook or cran, you are going to get to where you're going to. So yeah, UAE is a very nice country. Architecture, environment, top notch, and every other thing. So UAE is one of those countries that is the most secured. So why, question I ask here is, why do we think UAE is the best option? UAE has a lot of fun facts about the UAE. Is one of the largest economy, and it is ranked 10th in the global economy. This is to tell you, of course, we all know this information. It's just a reiteration, or let me say a confirmation, that UAE economy belongs to one of the economy that controls the global economy. Of course, out of how many countries, ranking 10. And majorly, the area of economy lies in oil, as well as real estate. So one of the very health, a country that has the best health system you can think of, and very peaceful. Security wise, it is one of the, I remember when I came into the UAE in 2022, I came in at the middle of the night, I guess. So I was walking on the streets without fear of being kidnapped, without fear of any gunmen. So, and it took me a lot of time to integrate myself into the fact that you don't necessarily need to go in by 12 midnight or any other thing. And of course, the education system also is getting is being, let me say, I won't say it's the best, but it's been one of the best. And majorly UAE education system ranks around the looking into American system of education. So it also boils down to why, as a PhD student, you have to do some courses at PhD level. So presently, there are 3 universities that are ranked among the best 300 in the Times World Ranking University of this 2026, including the United Arab Emirates University, which happens to be the second. Sorry, I mentioned that because that's my school. And of course, the first one is the Khalifa University of Science and Technology. Fun fact about the father is that both Khalifa University and United Arab Emirates are in the same emirate. It belongs to the Abu Dhabi Emirate. However, UAE is a federal university belonging to all of the emirates, while Khalifa belongs to Abu Dhabi. While Khalifa is in Abu Dhabi, UAE is in Al Ain. Al Ain is like a big city in Abu Dhabi as an emirate. I hope we are going well with me and my explanation are not too confusing. So what are the things you're going to benefit as a UAE student is that you have promoted skills and acquisition, which are one of the core area of UAE education system. You move from being a theoretical researcher to a practical oriented applicationist. You want to see what you're looking at, how practical is it in the industrial world, because it's a belief that whatever research you're conducting that is not translatable or that is not can be stepped up into industrial application really need a lot of overview. And here there is a cultural diversity. Of course, UAE is a country with a lot of immigrants, international immigrants, so many people, and because of this lot of international people here, there are a lot of diversity in culture. However, the UAE culture is still there, but it accommodates every other cultural diversity, including religious tolerance. And studying the UAE brings about bilateral and multilateral relationship. Of course, many African countries. Here I came, I saw some African countries who have a disagreement with the UAE government, such that their students come from their country to come, especially for bachelors. Yes, so they come around for bachelor studies here, and studying the UAE can make you to help maintain the workforce and foster economic buoyancy. However, this workforce we're talking about is post-study. So because as a student, especially if you are on scholarship, you don't have the ability to study, because it's assumed that when you're on scholarship, you're already engaged and you have enough to take care of your living expenses and every other thing you could think of. So it is, of course, for self-study students, you can get some work, but I'm not saying emphatically that this is going to be easy. So why do we think we can study in the UAE? Like I mentioned earlier, one of the first is that you as a person, you want to bring in your capability, you have your goals, you have your evidence, but whatever goals you have, must fit into the program curriculum as well as the goals and mission of that university you are going to. But both you and your university, or let me say your program, must fit into the UAE priorities. I believe this is clear enough. Here, studying the UAE, it comes with alignment and fit, not really your personal preference. While your personal preference is taken care of, you also want to fit into both the university aims, goals, and objectives, as well as the national priority, or let me say national goals and objective. So when there is a rotation, there is an agreement, there is a collaboration between you, the program you are doing, and the priority of the UAE, then we can say that you fit in. There is an alignment in whatever you're doing. Let me give you an example. For myself, my bachelor's and master's were in food microbiology, and here I am doing PhD in food science and technology. And what did I do differently is align. Yes, I am a food microbiologist. I wanted to see the microbiology of food, but now I have incorporated both the science and microbiology of food in my present research. So in as much as the UAE priority is there, the program goals are there, I also want to establish my own point. And that is the fact that I can blend my own goals with the national priority as well as the program priority. So my research now looks into the science of food as well as the technology, then not leaving my food microbiology. So as a matter of fact, for you to have that scholarship goal, you must be able to look into the UAE priorities. What are the things they are looking for, especially people in engineering? There are a lot of opportunities for engineering students here because, of course, architecture, oil, most people in engineering have a lot of funding compared to other areas. Of course, let me say STEM generally are heavily funded here compared to other areas. So when you ask this question, why UAE scholarship, when the fact that you are having, I choose the UAE because it is modern, safe, and attractive, does not really project you as a scholar who happens to have a fit of your program, your UAE priority, and your personal one. You can have an answer like the UAE offers the exact intersection I need. What are the intersections you're talking about? You are looking at applied research and strategic sector and institution investing in the kind of work I want to build. What kind of work you want to be? What is the UAE priority? For me, I am working around date fruit. And everyone know that in the UAE, there happens to be one of the best, one of the highest producing countries of dates. So that means it translates to national interest. Whatever I want to bring out from that date, whether I'm valorizing, whether I'm improving cultivation, whether I'm designing a technology to help in the production, the fact remains I am working on a national fruit that brings that boosts the economic development of that country. So it is possible for me to make an argument and say that when I finish this study, it's going to do this A, B, C, Y, Z for the country. Why it is doing this for me as a person, and I'm putting this putting ZYZ for the university. So this is the fitness we are looking about. So USG scholarship are actually strategic investment, not financial aid. You know, at the beginning of this talk, I mentioned the fact that in UAE, you cannot work as a student. You cannot work as a student. So all your aim is dedicated to research, a translatable research. So you are going to view UAE scholarship as an investment, not financial aid. It is not somewhere you want to come out of poverty. It is not somewhere you want to come and make money. You are coming here to make educational accomplishments that are translatable into industrial applications. So when you think like an investor, you are thinking like, okay, there is a funder invest. What can you bring about in 12 to 6 months? 12 to 6 months of your research, 60 months of your research. That's about 5 years. So you want to move from the find that I need to what? To a value. You are linking priority areas to give what? Evidence claim. Let me give you an example of my research is I'm trying to look at date promise. So because UAE produce a lot of dates, so To meet with the growing demand, the dates are processed into secondary products. And because of this secondary production, there are a lot of food waste. Yes, we are creating food, but you are still creating a problem of waste disposal. So while an engineer is looking for a way of some chemical engineering ways of disposing the waste, I am looking at a way where I can use my food science knowledge to reduce the waste. And what did I do? I try to extract bioactive compounds. So I will not, the waste is not going to always be on the landfills causing environmental nuisance. We can actually get some other nutrient from it. I extracted this, and I'm now looking at the fact that, okay, here is a country where we have perhaps some of the health, like obesity. We have these emerging diseases globally. Then I'm trying to see how I can use those compounds in my extract to actually treat this kind of emerging diseases. So this is what I am doing now. What am I doing in essence? I have a priority as a student. I am trying to look at the food microbiology, or let me say microbiology aspect of my work. I'm also trying to help the country to reduce waste as well as promoting healthy living. Then I am bringing out research articles that have been published, placing the university in limelight. Three things. So in the UAE, the priority sectors include artificial intelligence, the energy, health, so which is where I belong to, the climate, which is also where I belong to, because waste disposal actually affects climate, engineering, diplomacy, and other strategic domains. So what are you looking at? You are looking at a way of having your area fits into any of these, how you can write your story, how you can tell your story that capture all of this priority sector. Of course, these priority sectors are not exhaustive. You can actually get more information online. This is just an overview. So in the UAE, when you're looking for scholarship, I mentioned the global ranking earlier. These are the top university in the UAE, and UAEU is my university where I've been studying for the past 5 years. Khalifa University. Of course, this is a general ranking. In some other rankings available, you will see that different universities have different category, or let me say ranking, maybe in terms of subjects, in terms of this. As we speak, UAEU is the only university for people who want to study food science, is the only university that offers food science and technology. Although we have some other university that offers nutrition and nutritional science, but UAEU happens to be the only university that offers food science. Of course, Khalifa University is really STEM focused because the University of Science and Technology, specifically mostly engineering and some other area of applied sciences like physics, biology, and medicine. So out of all of this, UAEU is the only federal university here. So because of that, it's one of the biggest university, and let me say it's the biggest in terms of landmass, in terms of reach, faculty, population, and it has a lot of courses compared to every other university here. Of course, we have some country-dependent university like Canadian University of Dubai. We have the American University of Sharjah, and more recently, a very exclusive university has just been established, which is Mohammed Zayed University of Artificial Intelligence. So you can say that is, like I mentioned, AI is one of the core areas. So they have a dedicated university that deals with University of Artificial Intelligence. We call it MBZ UAE AI. So what does the application submission and selection process looks like? Like this is an overview. We do, like I mentioned, we do not have let me say a strategic or like a general what is it called, a general scholarship body. However, and why did I focus on PhD programs? Because this is one of, let me say, the most funded program. You rarely get funding for masters. I'm not saying there are no funding for masters, but either you are being employed as an RVA and you are being taken care of. So if you are coming here as a self-study student, know that education is not cheap here. It is very, very expensive, and you paid by units, or let me say credit hours. For instance, if you are doing a 3 credit hour course, 1 credit hour could be like 1,500 dirham. That means you are paying 4,500 dirham for the whole of the 3 credit hour per semester. So this is how it looks like. So for Khalifa University, they have what we call the tiered PhD scholarship. So this tiered means that we have cadres. Some are in tier 1, some are in tier 2, some are in tier 3. Each of these tier have different requirements, they have different benefits, and they have different expectation. Though they are all PhD scholarship, so but they have different expectation, and their stipend varies. So you can check in on Khalifa University for more information on that. Of course, UAEU have a central, or let me say a working scholarship, and that is, we call it fellowship. There are two types of fellowship in UAEU. We have the basic fellowship and the full fellowship. For basic fellowship and full, the only difference between both of them is that basic fellowship does not come with a stipend, but full fellowship comes with a stipend. Both of them take care of your insurance, health insurance, your tuition, but no travel support. You are supposed to make yourself down to the university and whenever you want to leave. So and this is highly competitive. I remember when I came in 2000 and when I applied in 2020, it used to be, so you don't have, like, when you're applying for admission, they will ask you whether you want scholarship or not. So you say yes or no and you continue. So you don't have like a separate application for scholarship or abstract. So when you apply, they review your application, send it to the Department of Interest, or so people who are interested in your area can bid for it and say, okay, I want to pick this student or not. So it's from the recommendation, they send it down to the guided school, and this brings about selection. So for me, I came in as a basic fellowship student. That means I don't have a stipend. While some people came in with a stipend, a full fellowship that comes with a stipend. But what I was able to, why do I come, is the fact that I had a supervisor who I already have a contact with before even the application. I met my supervisor on LinkedIn. He actually advertised a position, and I saw that in time. I gave him everything he requested, and he decided to give me a support letter. So he already gave me his word that if he gets a grant, then he's going to make me research assistant and pay me my stipend. This is the only consolidation I have as at then. But believe me, if you don't have a stipend, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy, and I promise you, you don't want to come without a stipend. So UAE University, they have research aligned funding. So most of the time, this funding, when they give them to the faculty, they are expected to hire PhD students on it. So this is how they do it. Aside from the full fellowship or basic fellowship, they have this research aligned funding such that they hire students on them and make them as research assistant. So now, this particular university in the last, which is MBZ UAI, it's just recently really established university with a lot of funding, especially because it is AI. So people that are AI area can explore it. I don't have much information about it, but I know this is what happened. For American University of Sharjah, it's like a private university, like the name American University, and the University of Sharjah itself. So they don't have like a established scholarship. However, they have some other funding in terms of teaching assistantship, or give you some discounts in your tuition. So first of all, for this is, and each of these have different requirements. I know for UAEU, you are supposed to maintain a certain CGPA for you to continue enjoying your fellowship. So if you don't have that, you cannot move on. So these are some of the available scholarship in terms of the table that I've tried to bring about. These are what are obtainable. Khalifa University full tier 1 to 2, we have tier 3, we have tier 4. So these are the kind of money for UAEU, the full fellowship, not PhD so full fellowship for PhD now, you get around 5,000 and you can get up to like 3,000 for people who are hired again on an external grant, or 2,000 for an internal grant. That is the maximum you can get, and you have your health insurance. Recently, the university have insisted that everyone must finish at 4 years. So now this is my 5th year. So, and I think we are one of the last set that are going to be having this extension. However, if you can want to have this extension, it means it's not going to be paid. You don't have going to have money for that area years you want to extend it for. So these are different kind of scholarship that you have that's available. So in every of your application, it is important that you know that the success of your application depends on how well you can sell yourself, how well you can convince the selection committee. So what are the documents you need for your application is, of course, your previous certificate, your academic transcript. These are the things that they are supposed to be available. I remember meeting my supervisor. The only thing he requested from me immediately was I should send in my certificate and my transcript, which I did immediately. So if I don't have them, I will not be able to pick them. So, of course, one of the important things that we forgot to do is international passport. If you are looking for scholarship and you don't have an international passport, then you are not ready. Yes, for me, I make this kind of mistake because my thinking there was, why should I get an international passport when I don't have where I'm going to? That I can't allow my international passport to get expired. But I later found out that it was a very wrong mindset for me. So that when I wanted to use it, I have to do extra mile. So it was down on me that if I don't have an international passport, I can't even write IELTS exam. So it is important your international passport is available. And very important again is that UAE, in any of the admission, it is expected you have an English test. Even students who are here, who studied here, we still provide English tests. So IELTS is a must, while every other one like GRE could be an added advantage, but IELTS most specifically is a must. And each of these universities have different requirements. For UAE, it is 6.5 minimum that you should get. And in each of this category, you should get lots less than around 6 or 5 something. I can't really remember the specific requirement for each of them, but you can check up their email. So, and again, this is one mistake I made during my own. Then it was during COVID and there was no British Council exam. So I had to do IDP. So and that is a condition that if I have to do IDP, it must be conducted inside of UAE. So I lost my first admission because I did not do British Council examination. But I was lucky enough that my professor was able to delay my grant till I applied again in the next semester. I think I was supposed to come in spring. I have to wait till fall. I wrote another one. Thankfully, that was COVID-19 as is off, and I was able to write British Council again. And always have your resume. Resume is not something you just want to. Your academic resume should not be the same one you are using for for application into job. They are two different things and they have different requirements. So please look out for a detailed resume, and this support letter will always place you higher. It's more of like a recommendation letter. For me, I think one of the things that makes it easier for me was that I have a support letter from my supervisor that, okay, he's willing to take me irrespective of whether I get a full fellowship or a basic fellowship. That if he doesn't get, that's going to be my supervisor. So you already gave the university and okay, I can take care of the stipend. So of course, you have to establish this contact even before you start your application. Look out for people, faculty that's in your area over there. Write to them why you want to be their student, what you can bring to their group, and you will see they could have you. So they could give you that support letter. This is more different from the conventional recommendation letter we get from our professors, maybe in our past professors over there. Of course, your birth certificate and the age declaration is something important here. Publications, yes. Publication, while it is not absolute, can place you in position. So for me, while I was in Nigeria, I have publications. I think I have about 2 or 3 publications, but they are not those publications that are very, like, you should understand what I'm saying. They are not really really something important like that. So maybe I think one of them is a national public. So it did not, it did not place me as a high flyer student in that area. And publication as it is, yes, why it is not a major requirement, can determine if you are going to get a full fellowship in my university or you get a basic fellowship. So I feel that my publication quality was low, was why I didn't get a full fellowship. Yes, because for you to have a full fellowship, you have at least 2 publications that are international journals, especially Q1. So, and one important thing is equivalency. So while you are applying, or let me say when you get admission, you should know that there's going to be what we call equivalency of your previous degree to UAE standard. And there are a lot of documents you have to work on. You have to get to Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Education, and every other thing in Nigeria to sign your paper, to attest your paper, all of those things. Then when you come here, you go to your embassy to request for a particular letter confirming your degree from your university. So, but the equivalency is so important. I have seen people who, after they started, they lost their admission because of equivalency, and it is expected of you in my university to provide it one after first semester. So when you get admission, you should come along with all of your attested documents. So you can always reach out to me for all of this information when you have this. So the selection process is really competitive. They look at your academic competence, your contribution, as well as your research area, how well is your research area looks like, and your professional area. Again, the selection committee will evaluate a PhD candidate with the academic readiness, research fit, and proposal. I keep mentioning this fit and proposal. Your research must be able to align with that of your faculty, sorry, the professor you want to work with, the university, as well as the national priorities. So alignment and impact, what is it going to bring to UAE? And personal attribute and recommendation, how well you can, your recommendation from your supervisors or who have actually taught you in the previous years, your communication skills, your writing skills, because sincerely, our research here is that because you want to take them to international recognition. And what I mean by international recognition is, at the end of the day, you want to have them published in high impact journals. So these are kind of statements that can give you an highlight. You are moving from preference statement to contribution statement. So I have always wanted to study in Dubai. That does not really make any sense. So look at a strong competitive answer is the UAE is where my academic focus, the region's investment priority, and apply opportunities intersect. So you have actually bring about a fit of whatever you want with what UAE is going to want. The UAE is a great place with many opportunities. That is too general. This program gives me a platform to solve a clearly relevant problem in fast-moving ecosystem. You want to even be specific about the kind of problem you want to solve. Why do you want the scholarship? The scholarship will help me achieve my dream. What dream? What dream are you talking about? Are you trying to, what do you want to do differently from every other one? So there must be a fit, there must be an alignment, there must be an impact in whatever answers, in whatever recommendation, in whatever XOP you want to write. So again, cultural awareness, representation matters. You must look at, you don't want to come and be so bossy, like, yes, of course, maybe you have 20 papers, you have 19 papers before. It does not change the fact that you are still an applicant and you want to respect the judge. So they don't only look for brilliance, they also look out for what? For your personal awareness, your presentation, and your tone as well, even in writing, even though, because sometimes you, after writing, after submitting, after pre-selection, they still want to have an interview with you. And the worst thing you want to do is to show that you are different, you are different from others boastfully. So why I want you to show why you are different with others, it must come with a lot of respect, tones, and humility for both yourself as well as the interview panel. So also the impact will always outweigh your credential. It is not enough that you have a first class. You have a first class, and so what? So your credentials are there, your ranking is there. That is the minimum you can achieve. But when you are looking at how what are the actions you have done in the past, what you've built, what research have you done, and how do you measure all of this? They outweigh your credential. Credential is just the first step that say pre-qualifying you that you could be a potential one. So every other thing speaks about it. So you have to look out for research. You have, if you have not done, please look for people you can intern for professors. Just ensure that you have a what, a research oriented profile that's going to speak about you, because that is where your impact is going to measure. If you are coming for a postgraduate, you are making impact in what area? So although it may not necessarily be an academic, it could also be in terms of professional area. Maybe you work in an industry, you work, so but at least there must be an impact. This impact must be measurable. You want to measure that, okay, while I joined this company, I moved from this to this. So if you don't have those impacts, then your credential alone does not take you to where you are going, because many people have that credential. The only thing that sets you apart is the fact that you are able to communicate whatever impact you have. You have taken your profile beyond just first class or any kind of classes you have to something that is what, translatable. And these are just some examples of 3 lines you can change. I am passionate about AI. That's so instead of saying that, you can say, I want to use AI training in a policy aware applied environment. So here you are already putting the application. You are having, yes, your aim is AI. You have a passion for AI, but why AI? So you should be able to just go from generic of like, I am passionate about AI. Anybody could be passionate about AI. What you want to do differently is using your own AI training for policy making or research environment. You want to move from, you want to see from conventional identification of microorganisms to technological bioinformatics and every other thing. So these are the kind of statement that is expected of you. So now, overview, the lens shift is that you are moving from an applicant to an asset. I want to give you my own overview. When I came into the UAE, I think I have about 10 citations. Yes, and I have about 3 papers. But I'm telling you, as we speak, my citation is over 700, and that was in the last I think I have this academic stardom around 2023 when I published the first paper from my own PhD research itself. Yeah, so I moved from 10 to 700. You can do the calculation and know how many percentage I have moved from before my PhD to now. And I have moved from 5 or 3 papers to all. My paper now is over 30. While every one of them is not directly for my PhD, it's a form of collaboration with my supervisor. So this is where your acceptability come in. I remember when I came into the UAE, I have a mission. I used to be a faculty member in Nigeria, but I want to go beyond this traditional one. I want to go beyond just be an ordinary university lecturer. So I came in with my supervisor, letting him, I didn't tell him I want to be this. What did I do? My action speaks for me. I did a course called comprehensive or something like that. So we are supposed to write a literature review and submit as that. So what did I do? I developed the literature review into a full paper. And I gave it to my supervisor. Doctor, could you please review this and let us see if you can publish? Without his own, it wasn't the one who told me to do that. But because of that, he sees me as an asset. So immediately I gave him that review, we published. That publication we did in 2022 is having over 120 citations now, because it was a thematic area, prebiotic area. So it's over 120. I am saying that, you see, that singular act that I did for my supervisor, he placed me as an asset to him. And the next thing I saw in him was that he gave me a manuscript, some results to develop into a full manuscript that he has done before I came. And that paper itself gave me the very first Q1 paper, aside from my own review that I wrote. So that is how I build my academic progress with him. And from there, I started from working on my research. My supervisor collaborate with others. They bring samples to our lab. I do the analysis, give them the result. I become a co-author. That is how I have this paper. It's not like everything is for my PhD. So your PhD cannot give you all of those academic positions you want. It cannot put you in that spotlight. You have to diversify. You have to make yourself an asset. So making yourself an asset is, yes, it could be tiring. It could be, you could get frustrated at the time that the work is much, but I'm telling you that you have much to enjoy compared to them. My supervisor is a professor, is established already. But for me, I am building a profile, and whether we like it or not, what actually the first line of profile you want to build as an academic is this publication, this research presence, this online presence. Anybody can just Google your name and see. You can check my profile. You will see you will see the way I moved in terms of my academic publications. So just last year, I published, I think, 15 papers. And out of those 15, only 2 were directly from three were directly from my PhD. I published with my colleagues in the lab. Because I helped them to do this. I published with other collaborators of my supervisor because I did work for them. So you should have moving, like I mentioned, you are moving from just an applicant to an asset. You want to position yourself. Nobody is indispensable, I agree, but you want to position yourself such that you will be an asset to be reckoned with in the team you are working with. So when I came, I learned rheology directly from my supervisor. I never used rheological machine. Until today, any rheological experiment in my lab has to pass through me because I am the one that was taught directly by my supervisor. So I step it down to other students in the department, in the lab. So this is what being an asset is. Till today, if anyone wants to use the GCMS in my lab, my colleague, they have to go through me because that's one of my core area. So that places you as an asset. You are not just a student in that team. You are having a strategic position such that it does not make you the absolute, but it places you as a force to reckon with. So the winning mindset shift is that UAE scholarships are awarded to future contributors and not just good students who need funding. Again, UAE is not an escape of poverty, an escape of money making. It is something that brings you into alignment and impact. So you just don't come to UAE because you wanted funding. You have been future contributors. So when you get UAE scholarship, what it means is that you have strategic investment, and then the selection is as a result of your goals that aligns with the UAE and the institution, not just why you like them. And lastly is the fact that whatever thing you have gotten, whatever information you have provided for them is translatable to your credentials into impact, values, and future contribution. Thank you very much for having me, and I hope I have not taken so much time. Thank you. Any other question, please let me know.
Thank you so much, sir, for that wonderful presentation. Thank you. That was genuinely packed with so much insight. Personally, I had no idea that international students on scholarship in UAE can't work simultaneously, because I think that a few of us here came in with the assumptions that every country works like the popular destination we always hear about, like the UK, Canada, where you can work at least a certain number of hours alongside your studies. So that was really, really, really insightful. Thank you so much once again.
Welcome.
For enlightening us. Okay, so we are moving into the question and answer session now. Please, if you have any question for our guest, please do indicate in the chat box, or you can actually just indicate with an emoji and unmute your mic, please. Do we have anyone with a question or two? before we move forward? Okay, please go ahead.
Oh, well, my question is, you spoke about being a first author will give you a better platform and opportunities in terms of applying for PhD. Now, I want to know, I need you to throw more light. If being a second author can also give you that privilege in the sense that the authorship will be equal. That's it.
Okay, thank you. If I can understand your question clearly, you are talking about a shared first authorship. Is that what it means?
Yes, I think.
So if it is a shared first authorship, it's still the same value. The position you are on that paper does not really matter. Now, the important thing is that you have a clear goal that says that you are first author. Both of you are jointly sharing the authorship of first. That makes you the owner. So you are claiming the ownership of the paper already. So because they arrange you first and second on the position does not matter. What matters most is that both of you are sharing the first authorship. Then that is fine. And it could also be interesting that if your corresponding author gives you higher compared to first author. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, it does.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you so much for answering the question. Please, do you have someone else? Okay, please unmute your mic.
Yeah,
to
I have a
listen.
question. Thank you so
Okay,
much,
sir.
Abdul Gafar, for the wonderful presentation. So my question is this: like in Dubai, I just want to ask, do they support exchange program? Like, oh, I'm currently at University of Abu Dhabi. Can I go to like Chinese Agricultural University for just maybe 1 year, 6 months exchange program during the course of my PhD?
Okay, thank you, Dr. Bello. One thing first is Dubai does not represent UAE. UAE is UAE, Dubai is just a state in UAE. Just like Lagos is not representing Nigeria. I understand that most people see UAE as Dubai, of course. So now back to your question. As far as as far as I know, this is more of a university policy, not the national policy. So for me, in my university, we have what we call dual PhD program. Some people goes to Belgium at that particular point in time, maybe 2 or 3 years or so along their PhD here in the UAE, such that at the end of the day, they have both degree, PhD in UAE, PhD in Belgium. I know someone went to there's a university in Canada. What's the name? Mark something. So just to answer your question, the exchange program, and this happens, this is more of your university policy. People can go to another lab as a visiting student. I think for me, I was in Hong Kong for 3 months as an exchange student there, just for research exchange. So some other students also go to other countries, other school. So for the PhD, dual PhD, it has to be that you are going to fulfill the requirement of both university to get to degree. Different from people that went just for exchange, maybe just lab visit or particular just to do a research in a particular lab if it is lacking in your own lab. So of course it is available, but flexibility is that university decide and your professor also be a part of this decision.
All right. Thank you so much. Does that answer your question, sir?
Yes, it does. Thank you so much.
Okay. All right. So we have one more person to go. Oluwaseun, please unmute so you can ask your answer. I'm sorry, your question.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
First thing first, I want to appreciate Dr. Bamigbade. Dr. Bamigbade happened to be one of my ogas. We have the opportunity to actually work with him while he was at Crescent University, and I'm happy to say that I belong to his school of thought. So, sir, I want to ask, because there was a time while applying for scholarship, one of the methods I normally use is to look for my potential supervisor, research. Then normally in their most of their publication, I normally look for research gaps in some of their publications. So I gather those research gaps. Then during my application, I compute all those research gaps. I normally use that to apply for scholarship. But majority of them, they don't normally feel happy because the last one I did, a particular one actually reached out to me and he claimed that since I know all the research gaps in some of his publications, I don't need to actually apply for scholarship again, that I should just go and do the work. So I just want to know, is it a proper thing to do? Of course, I attend a particular seminars then, and so like, okay, look for research gap in your potential supervisor and try to identify those research gap, highlight those research gap. Maybe that will enable them to to feel that of course you are serious with. So I want to ask, is it a good thing to do while applying for Charlie? Dubai UAE, while applying to? So I want to know so that I won't make the same mistake again. So thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Luasho, and don't mind him. You used to be my guy back then. So you see, there is no one cap fits all, and most of the time, you see this research out. Let me say, scholarship outcome depends mostly about the person that is being that is involved. Why someone will have appreciated the fact that you took your time to have a background knowledge about him. Some other person can pick offense like, are you telling me that my research is not strong enough for you to bring? So you, because it will see you as an external reviewer, reviewing the quality of its research. So for me, while what I will suggest is, yes, while you acknowledge the research, you will just, for me, I will go with this. Your research interests me. The fact that you have this make me think that we could explore more area like this. So while it is not really absolute for you to come and tell them their research gap, for me, I can see it as like this guy is a critical. He's coming to criticize my work. So why some other person will appreciate that, yes, you are bringing new ideas onto their table. You want to balance on both ends. Why you praise them at the beginning, then you can highlight what you think that can be done differently at the last part. So the bulk of the mail or whatever you are writing to them does not speak solely about their research gap, but the impact of the research itself and the future. As a matter of fact, you will see their research gap in their future contributions, or let me say in their conclusion area. I think Dr. Bello will have better idea to this.
Yeah, thank you so much, Abdul-Ghaffar. I'll just have this. For the fact that you are sending, can you hear me, please?
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
For the fact that you are sending a code email, we call it code email, to a professor first, someone you have not met, you've not had any discussion with, you want to talk more about your own strengths than to talk about his own weaknesses in the science. So when you talk about your strengths, you can let the professor know you have a good critical thinking, conceptualization of ideas. You are strong at data analysis, writing papers, good communication skills, and even collaborating with others irrespective of the background, all those stuff. Then at the end of the email, you can let the professor know you have things that we could do together as a student to improve the research outcome of the lab. And then you will just say, oh, I will appreciate if we can set up a meeting time or those kind of stuff. Because just like Abdul-Ghaffar said, if you send a code email and you're telling the professor, I've identified this gap, then why are you looking to be his lab? Even that shows that you are criticizing him than coming with a mindset of contributing to the science going on in his lab. I don't know whether you get the point.
I know do.
You might have an Excel file where you put a research gap. Just like, I will give you an instance. Every professor have a project for a particular project. They just know that, oh, this project, they want to identify this. Holistically, they don't know how they want to do it. That's why they want a student that can be thinking around it, having lab meetings to discuss. But if you are not coming and telling them that this thing has not been properly done by you, they'll feel like you have not even have a personal contact with you, but you are feeling boastful. You are trying to tell them what should be done. So with that, you might not be like, I will give you an instance. I have a project meeting where we want to talk about what next to do. I have an idea of that. I've done it before, but I don't want to be straightforward. I don't want to tell my professor, oh, I will go ahead. I said, oh, professor, can we still have 30 minutes to discuss the next step of action? That shows something that is very important in science. You are teachable. Because without that, no professor wants to work with the students. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much, sir. It's part of what I'm saying. Maybe it's a kind of misconception because most times I don't normally, it's not as if I'm putting out those research gaps. I will just have read about your work, very nice, all those things. I will, appreciate them. And then this is what I can do. And I notice in this your research, this maybe they had this. That is my kind of, I try to. Normally before I send those applications, I normally give it to someone, get me to check. Is it wrong? Or before I send those things, I just feel that maybe some of them, of course, they do appreciate those things. Okay, thank you, but for now we don't have. But for others, most especially those because I used to apply all those people from Indians. They are all Indians. They will conclude immediately that no. You identify my distance. Maybe I will use another method now. So I really appreciate your response, sir. So I will take note of those points and I will work on them. I really appreciate. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you so much, sir, for the clarification. All right, we have the next person is Oluwatobi. Please unmute your mic.
Good evening, Dr. Gafar and everyone. So please, I needed to ask a question regarding to this scholarship of a thing in the UAE. How easy is this for someone that is currently resident in the UAE to apply? Is it better to come in person to the school to get more detailed information? Particularly, I've always, have an eye for the UAE university. So I just needed to ask this. Though I'm in Dubai Emirates, I'm not in Abu Dhabi, but I'm just trying to look into this because for me, I've had quite a wide study gap. So is this going to be like, is it going to impede my application process and all of that?
Okay, Mr. Oluwatobi. Yes, it's good you mentioned this area. I actually wanted to shy away from it about the it's not enough your application, of course, not enough you have good profile at the moment. As maybe as Nigerians in context, we have a very systemic issue of coming into the UAE now, and it was only people with existing residents that are coming in. So I have, in fact, in this last semester, some of Nigerians were admitted, but they cannot come in because of visa issue. So we have this visa issue, and thankfully you are you are already a resident, so it makes it easier for you. And while coming to the university physically does not change anything significantly, it could help you to see those professors in person. So now the first thing you want to do is to send a mail to them of your research interest and that you are available in the UAE and you would like to meet them for discussion. So when, instead of you having a virtual interview, meeting them will give you first insight about who they are. And that's been one. Secondly, it will help you discuss potential collaboration you could have. If you are coming in as a master's student, like I mentioned initially, there are no funding, mostly. But you can come in as a master's student and you are lucky that your supervisor have a grant such that he or she can hire you as a research assistant, therefore giving you some money which you can use to offset your bill. But know that you are going to be paying your tuition. So you are not having tuition fee, you are not having, so the only thing you can get is that your supervisor, because you are hired as a research assistant, may give you what is it called? Insurance. But you are going to be paying your tuition. But another thing again is that if you maintain a certain CGPA, I think about 3.5 or so out of 4, you can get 50% discount on each of the courses you want to register. So if you are paying 1,005 per credit hours, you'll be paying 750 dirham per credit hour. So, but if you are coming for a PhD, again, if you are coming for a PhD and you really do not have that, let me say, academic presence, yes, you may get a basic scholarship, but I'm not sure of the full fellowship. But coming around will help you identify professor. After you must have seen them online, you have established a contact with them, they have agreed to meet you, or virtually or physically, but let them know that you are in the UAE. So because one of the off points for Nigerians is that once they see you're Nigerian and they know the present situation, they don't want to take the communication further, because they know we can't have access to visa. So you're okay, this, and you let them know potential thing that could happen. Okay, if you get a full fellowship or basic fellowship, I can always support you with this kind of stipend for your sustainability. So why the answer is not exhaustive, you can also explore. I think you are from Muhammad Shitu, right?
Hello?
Hello, are you
So
from,
I
are you the
didn't
guy
get the
from Muhammad Shitu?
no, no. Actually, I'm following the SAWOP concept on
Okay.
LinkedIn. Actually, you might not be able to place my face, but I know you in person way back from Funab.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Then
yeah.
let's communicate more. Then I think we can meet
Okay,
on LinkedIn. Then I wish you the.
okay. Yeah, I think I follow you on LinkedIn also.
Okay.
I follow you on LinkedIn. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll send you an in message. I'll send
Okay.
you a message. So,
Okay.
yes. So and I just saw the link on the SAWO concept from Dr. Bilo. So I'm just like, since it's something that is within my environment, let me just try and register for the meeting, and at least no knowledge is wasted. So,
Yeah.
and it's actually a very insightful moment. We really appreciate you. Thank you so much,
You're welcome.
Dr. Abdulgafar, Dr. Bilo, and everyone. Thank you so much, sir. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. We will talk, and all the very best.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. All right. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, sir. So the last person, Mr. Habib, please unmute your mic so we can round it up.
Thank you very much, our resource person, Mr. Dr. Abdulgafar, Dr. Bilu. Thank you very much. It has been an insightful one. I really learned a lot. I have an area of questions. I will apologize if you have addressed one or two of these before, because I had issues with network and I joined a bit late. So I apologize for probably driving us back. My first question is from the list of universities you give during the lecture. I would like to ask if there is any of them that offers a direct PhD program from BSc, that BSc straight to PhD. Then secondly, you talked about getting supervisors, all this code mailing of a thing. I want to know what's the procedure of getting portfolios of professors, like knowing their areas, knowing knowing them and getting their mail and sending mails to them prior to admission. Is there any way, is there any platform where we can access professors and scholars from universities and probably getting uh, knowing them before the admission? Then finally, you talked about one of the university being more particular about artificial intelligence. I want to ask, for example, I'm a chemistry student and currently running with my MSc. I want to know if with my previous study in chemistry, is there a way I can apply for artificial intelligence, probably linking it up to something like computational chemistry, Like you give an example of someone doing molecular biology from his previous study. So I want to know that is he from the prerequisite of all this AI stuff that I must is a must that you must have possessed maybe computer science or cyber security in your BSc, or it doesn't matter where you are coming from. It's something that someone from science or any other field can just at his PhD level, MSc level, apply for artificial intelligence related program. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Habib. I will start from the very first question, which is direct BSc to PhD. To the best of my knowledge, I don't think we have such. The only one I know that is existing is actually for bachelor's, local bachelor students here that can go from their bachelor's to PhD because they are studying here, not because they are undergraduate. So I'm not really sure any of these universities offer direct BSc to PhD. However, you can actually look out for their website and see whatever different university here, whatever requirement they have and whatever structure or program they operate. Sending code email is the easiest one to do. If you are looking at UAE University chemistry department, go to UAE University, go to their department, you will see the list of faculty there. And for each of this faculty, you get their name, you can get their Scopus profile or their Google Scholar profile. You will see their research area. And in most of this university, whenever you see those listed faculty, you will see their contact emails on it. You will see their contact emails on it. Even if their contact emails is not on it, when you look at their papers, they are most corresponding authors. And because they are corresponding authors, their emails are attached to their papers. So there are many ways you can look out for this. So go into the universities of your choice, go to the department of your choice, and some other time, your department of your choice may not necessarily translate to you. For instance, you are a chemist. You may decide to, at the end of the day, you may decide to work in biology. Because now we have what we call interdisciplinary research, and research are intersecting at everywhere. At the point in time, we have some students that are doing chemical engineering who are chemists. For me, I am a food microbiology, and I am now in food science and technology. Yes, food is both of them, but they are two different areas. So what I have come to realize is that it's not really about what you have what you have studied in the past, because I know of a student who studied agricultural engineering in Nigeria and is doing food science and technology with me together. So it is about your research prowess, your academic competence, especially at PhD level. For the MBZ UAI, you see, AI has come to stay. And you will agree with me, in the last 5-10 years ago, we don't have as much as this. So to say, even people in computer science may not even know anything about AI. So because AI is not totally equal to computer science or computer engineering, it's like a field on its own that is developing. And I think in my school now, they have a department of artificial intelligence, but still under the College of Information Technology. So, and every discipline now, including education, including any discipline now uses AI. So if you can tell your story that you want to use AI to do maybe some kinds of chemistry, some kind of analysis in chemistry, it's fine. You can fly, depending on how convincing the research is to the faculty that wants to be your supervisor. So you can explore their website and see what is required of them. But I'm sure that it may not necessarily be that you must be a graduate of computer science, but just for you to have some basic skills which are learnable. So there are no absolutes something to it. So for me, it's just for me that I'm moving from microbiology to food science, because I have to study I have to do courses. I think I did about 24 credit hours, though it was very difficult for me, but I scaled through, because the science of food is not the microbiology of food. They are two different areas. So it still boils down to your capability and your academic competence. If you can meet up with the requirements, fine. But I'm not sure you're going to be excluded for not having bachelor's in computer science. But you can still explore their website and see what they are looking out for. I hope this answers your questions.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. That was really, really valuable.
Sorry,
So,
Mayam, can I add one thing?
okay, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much. Just like Abdul Ghaffar said, people always think when you study microbiology, you cannot take up a graduate study work in biochemical engineering, for instance. Now the world is moving fast. What we need is to learn a transferable skills that can make us to be interdisciplinary. You can, like my project is in animal science, but I use machine learning algorithm for genomic prediction. So we need to learn different skills in order for us to cope with the changing situation of life. We are moving to artificial intelligence. Who knows what next will happen? So we have to be diversifying, learning things that will make us to be what? To sustain the changes that are occurring in this life. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much for the added insight. Thank you once again, Abdul Ghaffar. Now that we are heading towards the end of the session, first of all, I would like to ask if there are no more questions to be answered. So now that we are moving towards the end of the session, I would like to do a quick recap of the essential points that went down during this session. Our guest speaker, Abdul Ghaffar, opened with a quote from Johnson Sirleaf about daring to dream big. He also walked us through why the United Arab Emirates is a country worth considering. He talked about the universities, the scholarship structures, the sectors they are prioritizing. And then he moved to the alignment of goals with the university's program that you intend to apply to and with the UAE's priorities as well. He also gave us a breakdown of the top universities to look into and the supporting documents you need. And he closed it with the winning mindset. Now, before I move on to the next, please do follow us on our social media platforms at social media pages at Sao Concept on all platforms. And also the link to our social media pages will be dropped in the chat box below. So now if you are here thinking about where to start or how to go about the emailing, code emailing the portfolios and how to search for professors, we have something for you from Self Concept. So right now I'm going to hand it over to Zainab, a social media manager at Self Concept, who is going to tell us about the exciting thing that Self Concept has for us coming up next month. So please, Zainab, please, you have the floor. Please go ahead.
Hi everyone. Good day, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're joining us from. Thank you so much for joining our call this weekend again. We really appreciate your presence and thank you so much, Mr. Gafar. It has been really interactive, I must say. Everybody, I can see most people had questions to ask, and I'm sure all of that has answered, and there's a lot of justice on that. Thank you so much for doing this with us. We really appreciate your time. So, like my colleague said, we have an exciting bootcamp coming up by next month. So we've been organizing this webinar to throw more light on scholarships and everything regarding scholarships. And we are glad that most people have taken advantage of that and they benefited from it. So we are taking it a step ahead by organizing a boot camp, which encompasses everything you need to know in terms of scholarship application. So what actually brought about this bootcamp is that we noticed the pattern in most of the applicants, whereby they they don't know how to really present themselves when they're applying for scholarships in terms of writing SOPs, research proposal, and also emailing professors. There's been a bit of challenge from the applicants. Those are the information we've gotten from them so far. So we've come up with a solution to fix that. So that's why we're organizing the bootcamp by next month. And another exciting thing is that currently we are giving off 50% the actual price, which was initially 40,000 naira, and now it is 20,000, and we have just 7 slots left before we close it up. So you still have the opportunity to register now as you're on this call. You can share it with anyone that needs it as well. So you can also, if you need more inquiry on this bootcamp, you can follow our social media page and send us a DM. We'll definitely respond to you within 24 hours. So I'll be dropping the link to the bootcamp registration. Check it out and register, save your spot, and share it with anyone that you feel might need it as well. So that's my own addition. Thank you all for joining us on the call today. We hope to see more of these faces on our upcoming webinar, and also we hope to see you in the boot camp as well. Thank you so much, Mr. Gafar, for your time, your insights. Really appreciate. Yeah, Miriam, over to you.
All right. Thank you so much, Zainab. Thank you. Before we round everything all up, I would like to pass the microphone to Dr. Semil to please take over for the certificate of appreciation.
Okay, thank you so much, Zainab, Mariam. Yeah, and once again, thank you to Abdul Gafar. I think I would just have to say this. I've known Abdul Gafar for more than 16 years as colleague, friends. Yeah, for more than 16 years. We started together at FUNAB. We did 4 years course. That's, I think, microbiology. And he left us like we are doing 5 years. And later we connected again, and there's been amazing stuff. And just like our last webinar, we talk about building a strong relationship with people. Today, Abdul Gafar is our guest speaker, has shared more light on UAE opportunities for studying the UAE. And we all know UAE is one of the leading countries in the world in terms of engineering, science, anything we can think about, AI, and the rest. And the security, of course, is very strong in the UAE, the country worth visiting. So on behalf of South Concept is a limited liability, so which means I'm just one of the co-founders. So we'd like to sincerely appreciate you for your time, effort in preparing the PPT, and willingness to share with our community. And we want to certify that you have made a significant contribution. And this is our webinar titled From Applicant to Asset. Definitely, UAE is a very good country to live. That's why we see the like of Otedola, Boa, all of them living there, because it's a good country, winning UAE scholarship. So we extend our sincere gratitude for your insightful and impactful presentation, which I believe captivated the audience and enriched the knowledge of all our attendees and those that are still going to listen to it when we share it on our YouTube channel rather. So on behalf of South Concept as a team, on behalf of myself as a co-founder, Zainab, Mariam, Dekola, and other co-founders, we sincerely appreciate you for your time. And we wish you all the best in your coming endeavors, and we wish you a sounding success in all your ramifications. Thank you so much, everyone, for also joining.
Thank you, Dr. Bello.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for joining once again. And I hope this session gave you something tangible to work with. And Once again, thank you to Mr. Abdulgafar for being so generous with your knowledge. We really do appreciate you. And please don't forget to follow Self Concept again across all platforms. And do not miss our next session coming up by May, since we'll be having a boot camp next month. So yeah, by May, we'll have another webinar session coming up. So thank you so much. We'll see you soon. So take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.